This is the 2026 GMC Hummer EV 2X SUV. Is it worth every penny? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. I borrowed this Hummer from my friends at Mike Morgan Buick GMC in Shreveport, Louisiana. If you want to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video. The exterior color is called Interstellar White, and it has a graphite drift interior. That's what it's called, and that's what graphite drift looks like. It's going to be riding on air ride suspension, 22-inch alloy wheels. And as we go here to the front end, you're going to find full LED lighting, LED headlights, LED daytime running lights. Everything is illuminated all the way across. Looks very nice after dark. And you will find the recovery hooks, some of the strongest recovery hooks I have ever experienced grabbing a hold of right here on the front end. And the cab lights will be up top up there. One thing that is a bit of a surprise is that there are no turn signal indicators built into these side view mirrors. Now everything else is here. They're heated, they're power adjustable. They're also going to be power folding, which means we can push the button right there and fold those in. This is the button I pushed to do that. Now you can actually go into your center screen and there's a setting where you can control whether they fold and unfold when you lock and unlock the vehicle. Your HEV logo down there, the Hummer EV logo, and we're going to find passive entry on our body color door handles. That's the button right here and right here. I like having that on both doors. That allows you to lock and unlock all four doors from either position, from the front or rear doors. And here is our charge port. You're wondering where that is. You can use the DC fast chargers if you want to. And we'll finish things off here again with LED tail lights and the full-size spare tire. That is definitely a plus. A lot of EVs obviously not coming with any spare tire at all. And we'll have similar lights here on the roof line here on the rear as we did with the front area on the cab. Motivation to get down the road comes from dual electric motors putting out 570 horsepower and 7,400 pounds-feet of torque. 0 to 60, 4.4 seconds. That is extremely impressive for such a large SUV. Top speed 106 miles per hour. Driving distance on a single charge is about 315 miles. On a level 2 charger, you're looking at about 11 hours to charge from empty to fully charged. The slowest will be a level 1 charger, which is going to be 2 to 4 miles per every hour. So if you got a lot of time on your hands, I guess you can do that. Your DC fast charging will give you up to 100 miles of range in 10 minutes. Here's your remote with lock, unlock, remote start. You can open your power tailgate back here. You can also open the front trunk right there. And we're going to open the power tailgate right here. We're going to hold that button down and let that go ahead and open on up. Now there is one other thing that's going to be different for 2026. Let me get it to you. Got your NFC key tag right here that allows you to open and close the front trunk. You can lock and unlock the vehicle with this. You can also put it in the front cup holder up there in the front seat in the center console area, and that will allow you to start the vehicle. So if you don't want to lug around your remote, you don't have to do that. You can tow up to 7,500 pounds, and there are a few different ways to open this power tailgate. The button on the remote, there's a button right here that you hold it down and that will open it. There's also a button on the driver's side up there to the left of the steering wheel. How about your cargo capacity? There is definitely no shortage of cargo space here. We're looking at 47.2 up to 93.1 cubic feet. And you can see that there is no shortage of space back here. You can lower the seat backs flat, and we'll have a little bit of storage right here. So a few different options as far as that goes. There's also going to be storage here underneath the floor, actually quite a bit of additional space. And if you need to power something, guess what? You have your power outlet right here. And there are a couple of different ways to lower the seats. There is a release on the top of each seat on the outside of the seat, so you can lower both sides, or you can use these switches right here. This is obviously going to be for the left. We just hold that down, and then we hold this one down to do the right side. At the price point of this Hummer, the one thing I do wish was different where that is concerned is that you should be able to lower them and raise them back up with the controls right here. And while we are on air ride suspension here, and you can raise and lower the height of this Hummer, you also have the assist steps right here. I like that they have the graphite material on there to keep from slipping and makes it easier to get in and out. We also have the grab handles at all 4 doors. That's a good thing. There is a good look at the sky panels. Those all are removable, and plenty of room with the armrest right here. Also, we're going to have the door bin and rear seat pockets on the back of each seat. We're also going to have the ability to, well, in a minor way, recline the seat backs. Everybody asks about that. Can you recline the seat backs? In this case, yes, you can. And here on the rear of the center console, the command center for the 3rd zone of climate control. You can control fan speed and temperature. All of that is here. We've got our air conditioning vents down here, kind of small, but they are here. And then we have our USB ports. You will also find a little bit of storage space right here with that lunar map design. The same thing we saw in the rear. It's a couple of different places throughout the interior. If the door bin and the armrest are not large enough for rear seat passengers, they can hop up here into the front seat. A larger armrest and door bin with cup holders built in. There's our Hummer EV logo. And we will also find that we have lumbar support and power adjustable seats for the driver and the passenger. Both are heated and ventilated. The Hummer EV logo right here. Very comfortable seats, by the way. There is another example of the lunar map in our pass-through right here. It offers a little bit of additional storage space. We're also going to have the glove box right here. The sticker price is $99,995. If you need that extra $5 to get over the hump, let me know. I'll get it to you. That will be no problem. Let's see what else you get for the price beyond what I've already shown you. Yeah, I've got to throw a little bit of humor in there. Here's your digital rear view mirror. Now, you can use that as a conventional rear view mirror if you want to, but if you want to use it this way, that's what you're going to do, is just pull up on the lever right there, and you can make adjustments. We can go right here and adjust the brightness, and we push this button on the left-hand side one more time. We can zoom in or zoom out, and one more time, you can adjust the angle. So there's a few adjustments. All of those are done via the button right there, and that will let you make your adjustments where that is concerned. You're going to have OnStar and all that good stuff up here, and your different features and functionality you normally see with your upper console. Here is your home link. That's one good thing. You still have the good old-fashioned home link here in the Hummer. So those are going to be your buttons right here. You can program up to 3 garage doors. And over here on the driver's side door, everything for controlling your side view mirrors and your windows. You also have lock and unlock and seat memory. Now, at this price point, GMC, I do believe that you should have seat memory on the passenger side over there too. Not the case. Maybe one day in the future. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. And once again, plenty of space with the armrest and the door bins. Your power parking brake is located right here. Here's the button to open and close the front trunk that I told you about earlier in the video. And I'm going to show you the front trunk area here. So we're going to open that up, let that open all the way. You have 11.3 cubic feet worth of cargo space here, in case you were curious about that. I noticed or thought about the fact that I didn't show you this earlier in the video, so I wanted to make sure I said something about it. And now that we've hopped back inside, all you have to do to get everything up and running is put your foot on the brake. And up here, you're going to see the indicator right here for SuperCruise. And for 2026, there are a few updates. SuperCruise now has more available roads that you can drive on, so that's going to be nice. We will also see our button right here for activating SuperCruise, and then everything else for your cruise control right there. We'll have everything for voice commands and listening to music and all that good stuff. Now, if you want to change what you're listening to, I'm just going to use the control right there to scroll through my different options depending on what I need to do and what I need to see. We can also go right here and change our source: AM, FM, Sirius XM, which I know a lot of you like, USB, and news. So there you go with that. In case you are curious about what you can change here and what you can listen to, how to make those changes, all that good stuff is going to be here. The steering wheel is tilt and telescopically adjustable. The control is right here. It is power adjustable. And over here on the left-hand side of the steering column, the turn signal lever For those of you that have been to turn signal school and know how to keep your turn signal reservoir fluid nice and full, you can use your turn signals. You can also control your headlights and tail lights here, turning all of that on and off, or you can just set it to automatic, no big deal. And over here is the control for your windshield wipers, and here's something interesting if you haven't seen it before, is the fact that you have 3 windshield wipers instead of 2 or just 1, like the Tesla Cybertruck has. And the center screen. Let's go in here to cameras. You're going to notice a few little changes with some of the graphics. That's some of the other changes for 2026. And we're going to see that vehicle status is right here. So if you're saying, you know what, Tom, I didn't see tire pressure on the driver's display, you can change that. You can add it. And here's how you do it. We're going to go in there and add to driver's display. And there you go. There it is. If you want to remove it, you can do that right here. We're going to hit remove. And that's going to take care of that. You can also relearn the sensors right there. Accidentally pushed that earlier, but we can hit that. I'm not going to change it right now. But if you need to do that, you can. And you can do that with everything else that's here as far as your energy or trip information is concerned. A very simple system to learn to use, by the way. You're going to have Google Assistant that you can use where you can say, hey, you know who, and you can ask all sorts of different questions. You can even do this. In fact, what I'm going to do, let's turn the air up a little bit so it's higher than I want it to be, and we'll do this. I'm not going to say, hey, you know who. You can also touch the screen and do it this way, but here's how it works. Change the temperature to 74 degrees.
All right, changing the temperature to 74 degrees.
And you can do all sorts of things just like that. So just so you know what's here, the Google Play Store, charging right here. So everything you need for that. If you're going to charge now, charge later. It gives you your percentage right there. All of that's going to be here. You're going to have your built-in Google Maps, all your trailering information, settings right here. You have all of that great information here. One thing in particular that I know a lot of people like to know about is the settings, or under the settings is going to be your safety features right here. Collision and detection systems. You can go into your alert type right there. Forward collision avoidance, front pedestrian braking, intersection collision braking, side bicyclist alert, lane change alert, reverse automatic braking, park assist, rear cross traffic braking, and rear pedestrian alert. And if we go right here, here's something you might want to know about. Here's where you can turn auto park assist on and off. There's a few different places you can do that. Rear automatic braking, energy transfer is right there. And then you can also come to drive and park right here. So you can come in, and depending on what you want to do as far as your different settings go, you can do all of that right here. Just like to show you a little bit of what is here. And with the cameras, all that's going to do is bring up your cameras. There's a few different ways to do that, but you're going to have your overhead view right here. We have our standard view. There's the overhead view as far as that goes. I like that. Side view is here. We can also make changes to what we see as far as the front and the rear. If we go right there, we can do that there as well. You can just see what's going on. You can also see what else is here as far as your guidelines go. You can turn things on and off. There's a lot here that you can do. This is a very simple system to learn and use. Don't let it confuse you. I know a lot of people look at this and think, oh man, that has to be complicated technology. But show you what else is here. Now, one thing I do want to do is go back right here. You'll see that you have climate. That doesn't mean that the screen is the only place where you can adjust this. Actually, you can adjust everything right here. So we can adjust our temperature, we can adjust our fan speed. And here's what is interesting about adjusting the fan speed. The fan actually moves as you change that, and then you turn that off, and you can sync both sides together. And to gain access to your heated and ventilated seat functions, we're just going to select right here, and you can either turn on the heated seats, or you can turn on the ventilated seats. I can actually use the ventilated seats in Northwest Louisiana today, even in mid-November. I'm not complaining about that. That's a nice thing. And down here is where you turn on your heated steering wheel. So if you want that on, that's where you're going to turn that on. Traction control. You're going to have everything for park assist here, and then your hazard lights. Some of our air conditioning vents right there. And hidden away is our wireless charging pad and a couple of USB ports. Here is our shifter. And then we have our cup holders right here. And here's our drive mode selector. So here's something to note. You have crab walk right here. We can hold that button down and go into crab walk if we want to. If crab walk mode isn't good enough for you, then you hold down this side. That gives you king crab mode. That actually increases your ability to have a tighter turning radius in those off-roading situations where you need to deal with such things. And how about our different driving modes? Let's run through those real fast. You have normal, you will have my mode, off-road, give us our little warning right there. We're going to have terrain, and we won't do that right now, but then we also have tow haul mode. So another change, you're going to see some changes in the graphics with the center screen for 2026, as you can see right there. And plenty of room within the center console. That tray right there is removable, so don't let that fool you. There is a lot of space underneath that area. And here's something that might be pleasing to a lot of you. A 12-volt power outlet, something that is not available in all GMC vehicles these days. And a couple of important things to show you here that I didn't mention earlier. We're going to go into settings, vehicle, and we're going to come down here to comfort and convenience, because there's two important things I wanted to show you right here. Now, we're going to go right here to remote mirror folding. If you want the mirrors to fold and unfold when you lock and unlock your Hummer, that is what you need to have on. But there's one other thing here that I also wanted to show you that I think you might like. And one more important thing here under vehicle and settings, turn signal activated view. Make sure that is checked to on just like that. And if you're wondering what is that, for those of you that again have been to turn signal school, when you turn on your blinker, you'll get to see into your blind spot on the appropriate side, depending on which direction you're changing lanes to, whether it's to the right or to the left. All right, here we go on our test drive, and you might be surprised for such a large SUV how well this Hummer rides. So we're going to get on down the road here just a little bit, and we'll hit the pedal. Just in normal mode, it may really surprise you at how quickly this Hummer gets down the road. No shortage of power and torque, that's for sure. It really gets up to speed. It is very comfortable. Not only the ride quality itself, but the seats themselves are comfortable. I feel like I could be in here for a very long time, several hours, and have absolutely no trouble with being comfortable, arriving at my destination nice and still with plenty of energy left over, not all worn out from an uncomfortable or unenjoyable ride quality. And like I said earlier, while it's not meant to be used off-road, on-road, it is meant to be used off-road only, but you have crab walk and king crab, and those things will help you out with your turning radius. But you might be surprised here at how well it turns. That's probably one of the absolute best turns I've ever made right there. I do a lot of test drives with this particular route, and that definitely did a nice job for me. That was pretty impressive. But if you're off-road and you're driving at a low enough speed, you can use the crab walk and king crab and take advantage of better turning radiuses than that. I'm sure that takes some getting used to. I don't really have a good place where I can go and test that, so unfortunately not going to be able to do it. Everything is easy to get to, that's for sure, and easy to learn and easy to use. As far as the technology goes, you don't have to worry about any issues where that is concerned. I am going to clean the windshield off real quick with some windshield washer fluid. Since we turned around there, you can see that it was a little bit on the dirty side. You get to see those 3 windshield wipers in action, but overall, a very unique vehicle. If you don't mind spending the money, you do get a lot for what you pay for, and it will definitely fill the bill and not be what I would say just another SUV, or should I say another EV SUV driving down the road. And there it is, the 2026 GMC Hummer EV 2X SUV. Is it worth every penny? Well, to the right person it most certainly is, but I'm curious to know what your thoughts are down in the comment section as to what you think about this Hummer. I'm looking forward to receiving your feedback. I'd like to say a special thanks to my friends at Mike Morgan Buick GMC for loaning me this Hummer for the day so I could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That's very helpful to me. Please be sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.